13, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode down below. What did y'all think? Also, how do y'all feel about Steffi, Hope, and Ridge trying to keep Bill from seeing his son? Because I've been seeing people have mixed feelings about that, and I do too. Because it's like, on one hand, I get it because Bill is partially responsible. Because why would you go get her out of jail? Come on now. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. It was bad enough that he got her out of jail, but he also got her pardoned. So yeah, I fully understand, but at the same time, I feel like they can't tell him he can't go see his son. They definitely can't. But yeah, on today's episode, we're gonna start with host Steffi Liam. So they were just in there in his room talking to him again, talking to him and stuff, just letting him know that they're there for him and stuff. And Steffi ends up, talking to Hope, saying that it's Bill's fault, and that's when they cut to Bill. Bill ends up talking to Ridge and Taylor, talking about he want to see his son. I said, you go find a nurse or a doctor or somebody. They can't stop you unless they want to, what they call it, emergency contact or something. I was like, the emergency contact or the person that can make the medical decision, which would probably Hope, wouldn't it? Since he was married to her last. I would say Hope probably would be the one that could tell him. But yeah, he was over there saying, I just want to see my son. I said, yeah, like they was trying to block him. I said, you better go find him. You better go find him. Don't explain none of them. The whole time, just standing up there crying and explaining himself to them and stuff. Hold on. And I said, forget that. If you really want to go see him, go see him. But they said allegedly, Bill's supposed to sneak Liam out the hospital this week. They did show a preview for this week's episode where who was that? They showed Grace, and it looked like it was $1 million. Did y'all see that? If not, it's on Facebook, y'all. It looked like it was $1 million. So I was like, wait a minute, did Bill get her that? Because they said he's supposed to sneak Liam out the hospital. And I think Finn was standing up there saying how this is odd and it's not usually protocol or something like that. So I was like, yeah, Grace got something going on. I don't know if she actually been doing anything to Liam or not, but yeah. Then they also showed Liam they working on his brain and stuff. So we'll see, y'all. But yeah, like I said, Bill was just up there saying how he wanted to see his son. Finn, hold on, wait. What did that Finn says his mom and Bridget did all they could? Oh, that's when they was talking to Luna. I mean, not talking about Luna. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Oh, Bill, I think they had left and I think they was still in the room. Steffi and Hope was still in the room talking to Liam. Then they cut to Bill, Taylor, Ridge. Then Bill started to go try to look for Liam, and Ridge followed him. Then he pushed him in the room, and I said, I said, wait a minute there. I said, Dollar Bill, you gonna let him push you like that? You gonna let him push you in the room like that? So when they got in the room, he was like trying to convince him to leave and saying, you responsible, it's your fault. You only think about yourself. Where did you get this from? Thinking that you above the law and you just better than everybody else and all this other stuff. And Bill just crying and stuff. He just crying and emotional and saying like he understand why they feel how they feel, but they're still his son and he's not going nowhere or whatever. What else? Reed was just trying to talk him into not going to see Liam, saying that Liam could do better without him and stuff. And I was like, well, they was on good terms before Liam got shot or whatever. They was definitely on good terms. Now I don't know how he gonna feel when he wake up. People are speculating that when he wakes up, he's not gonna be the same Liam. But yeah, I said he done pushed him in the room. I said, what the word going on, Dollar Bill? I was like, no, he don't got something. I said, he be crying like Anna on General Hospital, just standing up there crying and stuff. Well, yeah. What else? Let me see. Yeah, Ridge asked Bill when he started to think he was better than anyone else, and that's when they was having that whole little conversation. They ended up going back outside into the, I don't know if that's the waiting area or what. But yeah, and then Hope and Steffi ended up coming out, and that's when Hope started on Bill. Excuse me. That's when Hope started on Bill telling him he need to leave. Now you care. Leon told me for years how he felt like he wasn't good enough and this and that and all this other stuff. Just everybody just taking turns, and Brooke up there on hush mode. She looked like she wanted to comfort him for a second though. When everybody, I think Taylor and Ridge was hugging, and she just was looking at Bill, and I said she want to hug him so bad. Look at her. I said she want to hug him so bad. She knows she do. But I said I kind of feel bad for Bill. Because look, they stood up here, but at the same time, you got legs to go walk and find him. He can't stop you. He can't stop. They can't stop you unless they actually, like I said at the beginning of this, Hope was the last person married to Leon, right? So don't they usually go by that? Whoever he has on the documents or something like that. But yeah, they stood up here telling him he can't go see his son. Hope started on him, like I said. She ends up telling Bill he needs to leave, and that's when he says that he not going anywhere. He gonna be there for his son, and she ends up mentioning he has a brain tumor. He's like, what'd you just say? And she was like, Leon has been struggling with cancer for a while now. Everybody looked shocked except Taylor, Steffi, and Hope. They all knew. Ridge didn't know, Brooke didn't know, and Bill didn't know. And Hope was just saying, he been struggling with brain cancer for a while now. And he was like, why wouldn't he tell me that? And they was like, cuz, look at you now. They was like, look at you now. They was trying to tell him, like, look at how you act. Look how you been acting for years now. And he was just crying and emotional. He was saying how he'll lay down his life for his son, and he love his boys. He don't care what nobody talk about. I don't care what y'all talk about. I'm gonna see my son. I want to see my son. Nah. Hold on, y'all. But yeah, Steffi was saying, what did she say? She told him, you don't have to worry about laying your life down if Leon don't, make it out of this. I said, was that a threat? Was she threatening you, Dollar Bill? I said, what you gonna do, Steffi? What you gonna do? You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't do nothing. Luna was sitting up there trying to take you up out of there. But yeah, she told him, you don't have to worry about laying your life down if Leon doesn't recover from all that. What else? What else happened? Bill started to say how Leon's not gonna die. He's gonna make sure of it. And they showed the promo. They showed the promo for this week where Grace look like she getting $1 million. So I don't know. Like, they saying that she been the one doing something to him, that he doesn't actually have a brain tumor. I was like, well, they gonna be messed up because they showed them about to operate on his head. So we'll see, y'all. We definitely will see what else happened. With Sheila and Deacon, Finn was saying how his mom and Bridget did all they could because Sheila was asking what happened. Sheila said that she tried to, get Luna to do the right thing and turn her life around, but she wouldn't listen. So she started to talk about how she feels like a piece of her died right with Luna or whatever. And Deacon was just trying to support her. He ends up telling her how proud he is of her for, protecting Steffi and saving her and everything. Meanwhile, they keep on saying how Liam saved Steffi, and she keep mentioning that, but not one mention of Sheila saving her. I think Taylor did tell Brooke about how Sheila got shot in the foot, but other than that, they making it seem like nothing really happened. She wasn't trying. The weapon went off. The weapon did go off or whatever. But didn't the same thing happen with Liam and Luna too? I don't know. I can't remember, y'all. But yeah, I said hopefully Sheila don't go back to being crazy. Well, I don't think she really stopped being crazy. It just take people to provoke her. People usually provoke her, and that's what lead her to doing crazy stuff. But yeah, I was like, I don't know, y'all looking like she gonna end up doing the same thing she used to do, but I could be wrong. Lee had came in there to get Finn. She ends up asking him how he truly feels about Luna being gone, and he, was trying to excuse me, trying to like not really expose his feelings, but he did end up saying how, he feels bad about what happened to her and bringing up, how she was raised or her childhood and all the pain she was dealing with or whatever. And Lee told him to put it out of his mind or something because you don't need to let Luna's death come in between you and Steffi. That's what she told him. And I still don't think she did. I just don't. I agree with whoever said she coming back in September. I definitely do. Because, she acting too suspicious. She definitely is. She basically ends up coming in saying he talked to the teacher. And she was saying how Luna pulled a weapon on her. And, like, when she makes it out of this, she going to jail for a long time. That's when Finn ends up saying that, she did. But, yeah, I think that this is going to be a problem for Steffi and Finn. I definitely do. But we'll see. I think they said the rest of this week is when they start filming they already filmed the Italy trip or whatever. They showed, what's his name? I forgot already. What's the dude named Nick? They showed Nick asking Brooke to come to Italy. But what led to Ridge and them going to Italy? That's what I want to know. Or what's going to lead to them going to Italy. But what else? Let me see. I already said Lee asked Bill, not Bill. Lee asked Finn how he really feels. Taylor ends up filling Brooke in because she came to the hospital. That's what she told her, everything that went down. They said this week that Taylor, Brooke, and Ridge supposed to all vow to be there for Liam and Steffi and Hope. And I said, here they go. What I tell y'all, once a year. I told y'all once a year. They want to be happy, extended family. Next thing you know, they back at it. Well, yeah, let's see. We already talked about Hope telling Bill to leave. Finn said Luna's life was wasted. That's when Lee tells Finn not to let Luna's death come in between him and Steffi. Grace, I was like, she keep trying to get along with Liam. Oh, why she keep trying to get along with him? She keep on saying he's my patient, this and that. Now, if he her patient for real. But at the same time, it's like she trying to get along with him. I said, what she got going on? So Bridget was in there. She was trying to help her, just look after Liam and stuff. You could go be with your family. You could go be with your family or whatever. I said, what you trying to do to him? But yeah, So Bridget ends up leaving. That's when she go over there where Hope and them at and stuff. But yeah, they didn't show it. They showed her looking at Liam and stuff like that. Next thing you know, at the end of the episode, he started to wake up. He started to wake up. I don't know what he said. What did he say? He said something. But yeah, I said she keep trying to get along with him. What she got going on? But yeah, that's it. That's all, y'all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces, hair girls, today, and be safe.